JP Miller case, let's dive into one other thing that I've wanted to mention that I think is super important and that you're going to see me do some videos on over the next few days at least. Many times in my comments, people talk about how in the world are people sitting and listening to this. Even I've said it, to be honest. But that's, for the most part, you or I looking through the lens of how we now view JP Miller as a person versus the one JP Miller that these people know, which is very different than the one that we know. And two, you have to remember that many of these people have been there so long at this point that the manipulation and games that have been ingrained into these people at this point is that they don't see it as weird. I watched a podcast this morning from a gentleman who has done years of research on cults and how they work. And he talks about a lot of things that we're going to go over because I think it will help us to better understand those who attend this service. It is, in my opinion, very cult-like at this point. I don't think these people have any clue, for the most part, that it is not a Bible-believing, Christ-following church. I do, in my opinion, think that he has convinced them that he is anointed by God, perhaps a prophet, and that causes, convinces people to believe a lot of things, especially people who have no background in church, may have not been a Jesus follower or been saved, and then showed up there, if you will, to Solid Rock, and thought that this is just how church was supposed to be. I'm going to do some videos and dive into some clips of Leah Remini talking about walking away from Scientology and why she did that and why it is difficult to do that, as well as some other people in that same position who, again, why they did it, how they did it, and how it is not easy to do. So for us to just say, why don't they just not show up? I don't believe it's that easy. I do actually believe that many of those people are in fact victims of JP, in my opinion. So if you want to follow along with all of that and deeper dive into all of that, and you don't follow me, I'd appreciate the follow. But let's talk about it and let's maybe try to better understand the bigger picture of what all has been going on. Justice for Mica.